Hey. Okay. So today I'm going to do something different today. I am going to make my regular Dr. Goldner smoothie, but then not going to drink it all. I'm going to take part of it and I'm going to turn it into a wrap. So we know one of the things that we have to do is she talks about getting lots of your hyper-nourishing, right? So getting your nourishment so it's in. So I'm going to take the kale. And at the bottom you might have seen a little beets. I had a little leftover beet stems. So I went ahead and put my beet stems in here. It was just a little. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pack it with all the nutritional kale that we talk about. But I'm going to turn this into a wrap because sometimes during the day, I make a salad and I may want to wrap it in something and have a wrap. And so I am going to turn the leftover this into a wrap. So first we're going to make our smoothie. And then I'm going to put all of this kale in here. All of our fresh kale in here. It's going to be packed with nutrients. So we are putting our kale in. Okay. You know what I forgot? I forgot my chia seeds. Let me grab those out of the refrigerator. I forgot my chia seeds. Okay. My flax seeds. Okay. Need our flax seeds. So we have our push it down. Push it down there really strong, okay? Then we know we need this is our medicine. Now we need something to get the medicine down with. So we're going to put in a banana or two. These are not very sweet bananas. I used to make these for my son, his wife, and his grandchildren. I asked my son the other day, did he want me to start making them smoothies? He's like, got to get back into that. Let me just stick with the salads because we're making those great nutrients-dense salads. So I'm put a little bit of fruit in here. Okay, and then we're going to put our 1/4 cup of flax seeds in. Okay, so let's get our 1/4 cup of flax seeds. Yum, yum. Okay, so we know those are the general smoothie that Dr. Goldner, she prepares. And then we have our water, spring water, and I put the water again up to the green line, to where the greens are. Okay, so that's taken one of these jars. It's going to take a little bit more than a jar. And we're going to put a little bit more, okay? Then we're going to grind this up. All right. Then we're going to take the difference, which is going to be wonderful. Are we there? We're there. All right. So hold on while we get this going. Let's get our tamper. Push it down. I like to have it do 2 rounds to make sure it grinds up the chia seeds really well. Okay, so that's one. We're going to do it again. I should put the top back on. You guys see it splurting out a little bit? But do it twice to make sure the flax seeds are really ground up in there. Ready? I'm so excited. Grind. It takes about 2 minutes. Usually takes about 1 minute per cycle to grind this up. So I'm doing it on 2 cycles because I want it ground up really nicely, to make sure all the flax seeds get ground up really good. So now I'm going to take this. I had a little extra water left over, so I hate water to go to waste. And we know we need so much water a day, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and pour this in there. We're going to do 2 smoothies. Okay. So that's one for me and one for my husband today. And then we have a salad. And then I'm going to take the rest of it. Okay, so we're going to have that there. Have our 2 smoothies. I'm going to set that there for a minute. Then I'm like, okay, so now I want to make a wrap with this. So I'm going to keep the rest of this. And so then to make a wrap, I'm only going to make one, so it's not going to be very big. So I'm going to throw some zucchini. I already cut up some zucchini. So I'm going to throw some zucchini in here. I'm going to throw a piece of garlic and some jalapeno. Okay. give that little extra flavor. I'm going to throw just one date in. Okay, I already have some banana and fruit, so I probably really don't need the date, but I'm going to go ahead and throw the date in anyway. Okay, and then I'm going to put some nutritional yeast in here, give it a little bit more flavor. Let's grab our paper towel. I had rinsed these off, and so I don't want to put wet in there, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put like maybe a tablespoon of nutritional yeast in here. See what else do I have on my recipe that I want to put in here. I put the garlics. We're not going to use any hemp seed because we have flax seeds in here already. And then, so this is what I'm going to put in here. And I may put some sprouts. Sprouts are really good. And we remember talk about how healthy sprouts are, which I'm going to do another video on how healthy sprouts are. So I am going to maybe grab okay, so we talk about how good sprouts are. So I'm going to put a little bit of alfalfa sprouts in here. Just add a little bit of alfalfa sprouts. And so with this being dehydrated, so we know we're still getting good raw nutrition, okay? So we're going to throw some alfalfa sprouts in there. And so then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to add a little bit more water because we're going to dehydrate it. But we know we're still getting water, except for when we dehydrate the water out. So we're going to grind this up. I'm going to grind that up a little bit. And I'm going to taste this because I want to see what it tastes like. I may want to add something to it because remember, I'm going to be eating this. But there's a few more things we need to put in here. Okay, I tasted the nutritional yeast. Maybe put a couple more jalapenos in there. Sometimes I would put an apple in there, but we're not going to put that in there. Okay, so we're just going to go with this right now. I'm going to go ahead and I did throw that date in there, didn't I? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is we want to thicken it up because we want to turn it into a wrap. So we're going to take some ground chia seeds. So I'm going to take about a tablespoon of ground chia seeds, some chia seeds, and I'm going to grind it up, okay? So I have my little coffee grinder here. So I'm going to put a tablespoon of chia seeds in here. This is going to help thicken it up also, this in addition to. So we're going to grind this up. Okay. Ground that up. And then I'm going to put this in there. You want to wait till you finish grinding up all your ingredients before you put that in there. Then we're going to put this in there. And then I'm going to take some psyllium husk. So I'm going to take about a tablespoon of psyllium husk also. Since we don't have a full recipe, and I'm just making one. So I'm going to take a tablespoon of psyllium husk, which is going to thicken it up to turn it into our wrap. Okay? So then we're going to grind this up again. Okay. So this way, if you want a sandwich or you want something different, you can always turn things into a wrap. If you have some extra smoothie left over, but you could take one recipe and turn it into something else. Could have drank all of the smoothie, but I said, you know what, I'm going to do something different. So I'm going to grind it up really good, mix it up, and that's thickened up. So I'm going to let that just sit a minute or two and let it thicken up, and then we're going to pour it into our dehydrator tray, okay? So, because we want it a little thick. Now, if I find that it didn't get as thick as I wanted, I'm going to let it sit for a minute so the psyllium husk and the chia seeds can thicken it up a little bit. And see if I put enough in there. If I didn't, because right now, I'm just eyeing it. I'm not measuring anything. I'm just putting stuff in it. My husband says, why don't you measure stuff? I'm like, I don't know. He follows directions to a T. I'm like, I always put my little scroll on it. Gotta watch your words, right? It's like, oh, I'll try this, and I'll try this, and I'll try that. Because I want to make it mine, you know. It could be the same thing, but I want to make it mine. So let's see how that turns out. So thicken it up. Just see if it's getting any thicker. See, it's starting to get a little thicker, right? So I'm going to give it a few more minutes, and then we'll see, and then I'll determine whether or not I want to add a little bit of more chia or psyllium husk. I may do a little bit more psyllium husk powder. So again, we're getting our nutrients in, we're taking one recipe, we're turning it into two. We're going to have our smoothie, then later on we'll have our wrap, and I'll show you what I do when the wrap is finished. The wrap, I'm going to put in the dehydrator for about 12 hours, and so it'll be ready tomorrow. So that's one good thing. That's one thing. I don't know if it's a good thing or not, but that's one thing about when you eat raw and you use the dehydrator. It takes you a little longer to prepare food. So, for instance, if you know you want something today and you may be craving, oh, I want to eat this today. Well, 9 times out of 10, you won't. You're going to have to eat it tomorrow. So you need to kind of prepare your meals ahead of time if you're going to use the dehydrator. So I love my dehydrator. I haven't been preparing anything in my dehydrator for the last couple weeks, so I'm going to get back on to preparing more in the dehydrator because I've just been eating really salads, which have been wonderful. Salads and Ezekiel bread. I love Ezekiel bread. I love it. It's sprouted. It's good. And that's my one thing that I eat that's not fully raw. Okay? But everything else I eat, I try to eat it fully raw. See, it's getting thicker. It's a little thicker. See, it's thickening up. Okay? So now since it's thickening up, and I think that consistency is going to be pretty cool. So now I'm going to take it and I'm going to pour it on my dehydrator tray. Okay? So I'm going to pour it on my tray. Oh, it's not as thick as I want it to be, but that's okay. I'm going to pour it on my tray and I'm going to shake it out. Okay, I'm going to just shake it out. This whole thing should fit on here. And I'm going to shimmy it out. I want to make sure it gets on all the sides and all the corners because it's nice and thick. Because remember, we're going to dehydrate this, so it's going to take the water out of it. So it's a lot, but I want to get it all on here because I hate for any of it to go to waste. Oops, you see that spill? So I'm going to make this. See how that is? It's nice and it's thick. You can make it thicker, but I'm going to go ahead and this is all that's going to get on here, so I'm not going to be able to put any more, but I want to make sure I get it onto the sides. So there it is. So now I'm going to go and stick this in the dehydrator. And then I'm going to do like this. You know how they do with cakes? I like to hit it on the counter because it gets those bubbles out. You know, it has the bubbles in it. So I'm pounding it on the counter to get those bubbles out of it because I don't want the air bubbles in there as less as possible. Okay, so now we're going to put this in the dehydrator on 115, and I'm going to put it up a little higher in the beginning, just a little bit, to let it really get some of the water because you don't want it. Sometimes you can get stuff, and if you leave in the dehydrator on the low heat where it has a lot of water, sometimes it can mold. So I'm just going to put it in the dehydrator, heat it, put it up maybe back to 120. Then I'm going to take it down to 115 and let it dehydrate for the rest of the day until tomorrow. All right? I'll let you know how it turns out. I'll show you tomorrow when it turns out, when it comes out and what it looks like, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so here we go. So I did the wrap. I let it cook a little too long, so it's a little crunchy. So it's not going to turn as perfect as I wanted it to, but I just want to show you the premise of what I did and let you check it out. So here we are. So here is the wrap, the dehydrator, and see on the sides, I did a little bit too crunchy. I left it in too long. And that's why it's important. I have two dehydrators, and the one I put it in was the one without the timer. So I left it in a little too long. And I definitely left this piece in a little too long. Look at that. But you know, it's great. It tastes really wonderful. And what I can do is I can always add a little water and soften it up. Just rehydrate it. But I wanted to go ahead and just show you this video. And then when I make a perfect one the next time, I'll show you again. But let's get started on this one. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to take some of this. You guys have probably seen her before. I think her name is Marissa. She calls them hand salads. So I'm going to go ahead and put some of the salad that I have. And you can put all kinds of things on here. I'm going to add a little bit more sprouts. This is kale on here. Give me some carrots. Throw cucumbers. I know I do everything a little fast. Sometimes people's like, can you slow down? I do everything fast. And so I know I said this year that I was going to slow down a little bit. So I'm going to put some of that. See how I went a little slower? And then you guys all know me. I have to have my jalapenos. Those who know me know I have to have my jalapenos on here. So I'm going to put the jalapenos on here. And then I'm going to throw a little mustard. Throw a little mustard on here. And then I found some of this cashew cheese. See that cashew cheese? I'm gonna put a little cashew cheese on there. Let's put a little bit of cashew cheese on here. On the side. Just spread that on there a little bit. I always put turmeric and pepper on my, whenever I'm eating. And then sometimes I'll even put a little hot sauce on here, which makes it really good. I haven't really made too many dressings yet, but I will go ahead and I'm going to put a little bit of pesto olive oil on here. Here's one of my favorite olive oils. Can you see that? It's the pesto. So I'm going to put a little bit on here, and then we're going to wrap it. It's not going to wrap as good as it should, but all right. So then I'm going to wrap this here. We're going to put this here. Going to turn this here. And then I'm going to go ahead and wrap it like this. Right? And then there, we have a nice wrap. So see, can you see that wrap? So it's a pretty good wrap. So when you want to wrap, now remember this all came from Dr. Goldner's smoothie yesterday, and I just threw a couple more things in it and then put in the dehydrator. So let's see what this tastes like. It's really good. So I have a smoothie and a wrap. It is really good. So pretty cool, huh? I would have my husband come over here and take a bite. Let you know what it really tastes like, but it is really good. So that's how we do our wrap. These wraps last a long time. You can take them with you. You can make it a lot bigger, put more stuff in it. Okay, I'm taking some of it off so I can get more. I could have put more salad in here. It's really delicious. So, if you have a recipe, and so you think about it, we have the base from Dr. Goldner's smoothie. Remember she talked about how we should be getting a pound of greens in. Look, here's some more of the greens, right? The cruciferous. So if you have anything that you would like me to try, making a wrap with her base of the cruciferous, the flaxseed, a little bit of fruit. And guess what? We can do without the fruit too now, because we're going to actually make a sandwich out of it, right? Maybe a couple dates, even if that. Okay? It's really not that sweet. But remember, we cut it down yesterday. We put some zucchini in it. And then we have more salad. So we have salad on top of salad. So if you like this idea, go ahead, hit a like, subscribe so I can bring you more videos and show you some more of the good stuff that we try how to eat healthy. Because sometimes we're like, oh, well, you eat raw. What do you eat to get full? This is really filling, right? You think how thick that is. It's really filling. Then there's it. You can take them with you when you travel. I know when I was going on the cruise, I made some of these because on the cruise, they have a lot of food. And sometimes you want something light. And so these will last a while without being refrigerated because they're dehydrated. And so I can just take it out, throw some of the salad stuff that they have on there, wrap it up, and then go. But sometimes every time you go out to eat, you're like, oh, all we eat is salad. Well, now you can have your own wrap. It's really good. So if you tried it, let me know. And if there's something that you want me to try, give me a link. Give me a thumbs up. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate it.